There's the second time.
There's the second time.
Yeah, there's the second time.
So why you think the police consistently? Why you think the police consistently handling you?
Because they know that I'm the leader of the group.
They know you are the leader of the group.
They feel that they capture me. The revolutionary will escape. But no, you can join the revolutionary, but you cannot join the revolution.
Of course.
Even when I'm playing South Beach, the protest will take place. Even when I'm playing in South Beach, the protest will take place. So it doesn't matter whether it is.
So why you want to steal the folks out there watching us?
Turn out. It is a constitutional right. Do not be afraid because the bad head of friend we are. I'm going to whether South Beach.
Do you think your protest going to you result? Do you think your protest going to you result?
Anyone should have.
Do you think your protest going to you result?
I know that they are trained men in the police.
Final message.
They are trained men in the police.
Final message.
What does that mean? What does that mean? My name is Fred Dubia.
Final message on Moluba Moluba chairman.
We know that we're not being abandoned. We were not told.
Okay, that was it.
We also alerted the public that there may be detractors and surrogates of the government that may be planted towards efforts of this protest and introduce violence. All protesters here will attack a pressman, not a police officer. Anyone who does that, point it out. We will deal with that. Because we are very clear. Of course, I've just told you that you can say that. How do you know they are? Listen, how do you know? Hello, how do you know they are members? I've said that people could be deliberately deployed to create chaos or create problems, limit on peaceful protestation. So anyone who attack journalists, who confront journalists, just point it out. We will investigate you. And if they are not amongst us, we'll let you know. If they are part of us, they will be penalized. They will be consistent with the law.
The traffic has been free. Another person
has been arrested, and this time around,
What's your name? What's your name?
What's your name?
What does that mean? What does that mean, madam?
I came to protest in 99.
Okay.
I'm Maya James.
Okay. Was he part of the protest?
She stays in
Why are you arrested?
Why is the mission here?
I saw you jail. Now you are here. I saw you in the protest.
I have the right to protest if I want.
Why you part of the protest?
Why you part of the protest?
You told us, we saw you in a video, you said you are a blocker, but you came to form part of the process.
That's what you said.
That's how you said.
Right before the family.
I'm not a friend.
Okay.
I'm a blocker.
Right.
I came here to block.
Okay, block.
What I came for.
Right.
I don't have, no, I don't have, no.
What's the block
I don't
name?
have choice.
What is the name of your block?
What's the name of your
But that's one thing.
That's what we asked you. We would like to know. What is the name of your block? What is the name of your block? What is the name of your block? Say you are a blogger. So another protester, but she says she's not a protester. She has been arrested, similarly to one of the person who were arrested just now.
You are talking to woman.
What you are telling you?
You feel threatened now? They were arguing.
You feel threatened now that you have been arrested?
You say part of the protest that you told earlier on. No, it's not only your way protecting you to carry you. Who are you saying that?
Oh, she's claiming that the officer is harassing her sexually. So holding her waist, what does that mean? If you think the officer is holding her waist, what does that mean? You say, are you accusing the officer he is harassing you? What does that mean, please? No, but you say you're holding your waist. What does that mean? What is the meaning of holding your waist?
He's not holding your waist. I think he's holding your shirt. We are seeing it.
That was them.
Okay. But why are you holding back then?
What is the name of
We want to know the name of your blog.
You are yet to tell her the name of your blog. The name of the blog. You consider yourself a blog.
The community in no time, we saw about rest, 30 bag of rice, 5 sacks of water, or soft drinks, taking it all, but being brought to the community. And they were received by Black B, Chairman, Aztec Fangawolo. As I speak right now, the rice is still being kept there. The first thing that should have been given to us, there should be medication. Nosma is the cheapest thing we could get. We now got Nosma. There have been 16 to 17 days since the incident took place, and nothing of such has been adjusted in the community. So we went back to the community, our leadership, we ourselves, the community leadership now call us into a meeting. We ask them, they have been 12 days first, since 12 days, nothing has been going on. The 12 days, okay, we stay here. Look, 5 days, 10%. So, okay, give them the 5 days. Within the 5 days, we go there. Within the 5 days, please get Secretary Rosman. Secretary, bring them for the 5 years plus. If I can be for that time, for the 5 years plus. No assault, no conversation, no workers. Secretary, wow, people requesting to us. Secondly, President, kind of the chairman to us say the rest, you want the rest for FOC. Everything, whatsoever. That's true, they don't put that in the statement. So we go chairman will not go to chairman will not protest. He said, what? Chairman said, let you get the people legally. He said, chairman, you have got 12 days legally. Chairman said, give me 5 more days. We told chairman, ask chairman, we say, when the legal council, who says, to your fellow boss small. Councillor, to your fellow boss small, we ask him, when Councillor, to your fellow boss small inform when you are receiving a rest, chairman said yes. After that, you call Councillor, to your fellow boss small, he denied the statement and said, he was informed about the very being received by chairman of the B, which is as a final law. So,
so let's get it, Chief. How are you? What's your name?
Of corporate master would have come there. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. All right,
So folks,
He running. Show your teeth, that's here.
No chairman, no chairman. No chairman, no chairman. Everybody, no chairman, no chairman.
so folks, if you just pause back. Okay, been here today.
And then our water then contaminated. We will take back the sea on my skin. You see the maggot, all my, I see your people's skin, all my back, all my face. All my faces, take back the water with each skin. Don't drink the water, we don't take back water, we don't use the water to use the bathroom. Right? So all these things have been happening, and water have been contaminated, children coughing with blood. But the community and study brother are all smooth part, they are in good collaboration with the community. In no time, we saw about rest, 30 bags of rest, 5 sacks of water, or soft drinks, taking it all, but being brought into the community. And they were received by Black B, Chairman, Aztec Fangawolo. As I speak right now, the rest is still being kept there. The first thing that should have been given to us, there should be medication. Nosma is the cheapest thing we could get. We now got Nosma. There have been 16 or 17 days since the incident took place, and nothing of such has been adjusted to the community. So we went back to the community, our leadership, we ourselves, the community leadership now call us into a meeting. We ask them, they have been 12 days first, since 12 days, nothing has been going on. The 12 days, okay, we stay here. Look, 5 days, 10%. Honestly, tell me about 12 days legally. Chairman said, give me 5 more days. We told Chairman, ask Chairman, we say, when the legal council, who says, to your fellow boss small, Councillor, to your fellow boss small, we ask him, when Councillor, to your fellow boss small inform when you are receiving a rest, Chairman said yes. After that, you call Councillor, to your fellow boss small, he denied the statement and said, he was informed about the very being received by Chairman of the B, which is as a final law. So, both Sati brother and the Black B leadership, including, I'm coming, including Black C, which is Chio Sagba, the chairman for Black Sea, who is not here right now. We went at a house, including Kamasa.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let's make it easy. I know there is no anger and all of that, but and the next thing you say is that you can use your water. The water you have in the community is being contaminated because of the chemicals.
Our houses are damaged. Our houses are damaged. Things are being stolen.
Yes.
If mistake are clips.
Another thing that people want to know is that since the statement coming from Seti brother saying that you and Seti brother are on a smooth path condemning EPA statement that the chemical has nothing to do with, it's not hazardous and it cannot do anything, it cannot cause any harm. What has been the reaction from you, the community, and what has also been the reaction from EPA?
EPA have been doing that. We want to get government attention to this. Because what you see right now is the anger from the youth, EPA, and our leadership. Because we saw a statement, we saw a telepaper was coming to the community.
So we are doing this for all of our sister agencies because we notice that there is a gap. And this gap needs to be filled in. That's why we have come with a representative that is matters for every family member into our country. So we who the securities, we are the front liner. We are the first citizen of the country. Anyone that enters into our country, the first person that will interact with is an officer. Either at the port of entry, by land, or air, they will interact with an officer. So an officer should have the full knowledge on drugs so that he or she, when he is assigned or she is assigned at a particular point, he or she will know how to handle such situation when it arises. So the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency saw the need to provide these workplace-based prevention activities. Because there are some of our colleagues that are on the job. They work within the security sector, but they are also on the substance. And some also have the mind to try it. So when we reach that point, the officer needs training. The officer needs counseling. So we have come to educate our fellow officers on these things, the present harm, the future harm, and the past harm that they have created for themselves, so that they can have the knowledge. And those ones that have not started consuming it, so that they will know that it is harmful, so we cannot continue this particular malice in our society. And how we can work together as a security sector to curtail this particular malice. So thank you very much. As we dive into this, we're going to have a deeper understanding of why we are here today. Thank you very much.
I was Mary Grace, the head of prevention and community outreach prevention,
I am Special Agent Green,
which was launched yesterday. It's still ongoing.
Head of Prevention and Community Outreach Services of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency.
Supervising Operation Akaros SDK Junior, Operation with Prevention Section.
Okay, so I'm the team lead here today, and I am the head for the Prevention and Community Outreach Services at the level of the DEA. I'm Special Agent Grade 2, Grace G. Mowa.
Good morning. My name is Officer Florida K. Bakana, Head of Training, Bureau of Correction. Good morning, everyone. My name is Benu S. Colley, Regional Coordinator, ECRO.
My name is Janessa Moaba, Deputy Superintendent for Administration of the Central Prison.
I'm Sagar Bodo, Assistant Director of Prison for Planning and Manpower and Government, ECRO.
I'm Prince Miyakofa, Deputy Maintenance Officer.
I'm Mr. E. Harris, Airport Channel.
My name is Lawrence Poole, and I serve as Assistant Director for Prisons Operation.
Deputy General Coordinator this year.
I'm Samuel Lenz Jasper, Precinct Coordinator. I'm Roosevelt Flori, Precinct Superintendent.
I'm the Apology Don Jr., I'm Officer of the Senior Precinct this year.
And Officer Lovely B. Leader, Leader Officer CM.
I'm Dr. Mani Hodo, Secretary.
Simon Love Charles Amanins, Provincial Officer.
Good morning, evening. My name is James Boo, Provincial Officer, Provincial Justice. Good morning, I'm the President Bola, the Officer, MCP.
Good morning to everyone. I'm Dalito F. Anderson, Deputy Chief Training Officer.
And we have with the Dr. Mundius Kobidai, for personal president.
Alice H. Kebula, investigator.
Officer Kimok Sibing, FTO, Moravia Center Police.
My name is Agent Samuel W. Jala, investigator.
I'm still JP, Correctional Officer for Central Police.
So that was about it for introduction.
Okay, so to the committee heads, the various classes for this recognition. It is a privilege to be recognized among hundreds of persons. And so I wholeheartedly appreciate this certificate. I'm not just walking off your podium like my colleague rightly stated. Leaders that you reference also reference other leaders. And I want to call on Attorney Tumu and say, see your brother, today all of the committees in the reform of our policies, people will always call on me. They say you gotta be part of the committee, from one committee to another. But trust me, all of those things originated from him. And he will always say, you are smart, baby. Let's do it for tomorrow. And the tomorrow that we were working on is about to give birth. All of the work that we were doing yesterday, when Eddie Kruger came, they said, when you walk on us in the ring and insignia, you gotta go to Smith. He sat me down, he initiated it, and I built on it, I developed it. Today we are still developing, standing on it, so that our institution to be recognized as parallel as other paramilitary institutions. Your good work is yielding fruit. Our yesterday's studies that we do pens that we put on people, and yet gravitating, they are metamorphosized from one stage to another, and we are about to benefit the dividend. Thank you, Chief. To the leadership, To all of our leaders for the various classes, I say thank you for recognizing me. Your mic.
Thank you, Colin. Quickly, we take vote of thanks, followed by announcements.
Thank you very much. We want to take this time to thank all of you, LDA Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, and the entire family of LDA for this collaborative effort to make this day a success. We want to thank special contributors, especially the administration of the LDA for their support and for making this day a success by their special permission. Because had not been for that permission, we would not be gathered here. We want to recognize and thank the HR, one of the honorees who also contributed to drinks. We want to appreciate the Controller and Chief of Finance for his donation of 20,000 Liberian dollars. Yes, we also want to recognize and thank all of our diaspora colleagues. Special thanks go to Gloria T.Y., who contributed $200 US to this program. And by the way, she is our diaspora coordinator. She there coordinated things. Most of our friends have traveled there. And we also have Henry Kinneman contributed $50. We have Steve Zacco contributed $50. We have Emmanuel Williams contributed $30. We want to thank all of them for their contribution. And locally, all of us have made special contribution to the process. Our own council, our senior man, our mentor, Anthony Martin Tumo. We thank you for your support, your immense support, your advice. We want to thank the CG, the Commanding General, for his steadfast commitment to this class. We want to appreciate the IT-04 Special Agent Kasia P. Carter for special contribution. We want to say thank you to all of you who are in your closet and praying and making sure that this day be a success. We say let God richly bless you all. Because I made special contribution to this. Special thanks go to Gloria T.Y., who contributed $200 US to this program. And by the way, she is our diaspora coordinator. She there coordinated things. Most of our friends have traveled there. And we also have Henry Kinneman contributed $50. We have Steve Zacco contributed $50. We have Emmanuel Williams contributed $30. We want to thank all of them for their contribution. And locally, all of us have made special contribution to the process. Our own council, our senior man, our mentor, Anthony Martin Tumo. We thank you for your support, your immense support.
And I want to know that you suspect that you have ghetto there. You know, such a senior warrant. With our 50 men, your move on our your condom in your sex to move on. That's why you're resident. Okay? Yes, sir. That's how you just waiting. Whatever you are now, die, you're trying to wait for your morale. So, yeah? Yes, sir. So, now, you're doing that. You're waiting on. Listen, I want to hear one two morning the comment about director. When Bazo now to see open in hand, I'm wondering all your beginning in the time. To see open I get up, So, we got all to 5 o'clock, you can start reading the second. Yes, and I want you to start. I'm not saying you will work like this, no go there. When they go, I raise you, everything smoking, one know when they're sleeping. But those that gave it to them, I don't know, fetch. Let the president come and be food until they judge and say, no, we can't with me. Then Raul, Tony Raul, fetch and let them put them beyond back. Once you put in any body, garden has spoken, will find a way. I don't go to Rosa or Sano. And you go Sano or Rosa with. Thank you. Anyway, you go smoke, we smell will go after you. Operate on chapter 4. Okay? You better with God, the key will mess you up. But if you don't be taking the drug to be testing, I don't want no test on your system. Because the way we come in here, when you go, Sunday morning again will be here to go random test again. Anytime our court, we get 20 of you. Go to that kind of day, we do your test. So you can be on the wire. Tell you, my medicine that you
Yeah, good afternoon. Today, 22122025. You know, every time Liberian will hear or call the date, 22 of December, then they begin to smell the Christmas. You know, as the saying goes, when the Christmas will be good, you will know from the beginning. And I want to prophesy good Christmas for you. Good Christmas for you. Good Christmas for all Liberians. You know, when I said this, someone said to me, Nathaniel, I said, but the marketplaces are filled, crowded up. Imagine now, if you want to take a motorbike, or don't try a vehicle when you won't cross red light. If you want to just go to the Packer Paint area and want to pass through red light, just know that you may not pass, or you will spend a very longer time there before you get a pass, because all of the marketeers have taken their goods on the main motor road, and you see Liberians are passing around. You see vehicles are filled up with goods. Motorbikes are now carrying goods that are getting to Texas back. Keke are now carrying goods. They push. The most famous push you know of are now. But someone said to me, the Christmas, they play park, but no money. What's keeping the place jam-packed when there's no money? Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. Based upon your timeline and your location, I want to say to all Liberians, Merry Christmas. Merry. Every time you say 22, if in the case up to now, I have not gotten there, yeah, 1 or 2 years, you know that I received multiple calls. Papa, so you don't forget about me? No, I've not forgotten. Let me say welcome to the 22 of December. We're just having 3 more days for now. In the late 1978, on the 22nd of December, Liberia was under the rule of President William Tubert, who was experiencing growing internal tensions symbolized by the contagious clemency case involving ritualistic killings and an unrelated deaths of laborers highlighting racial injustice. Or while President Jimmy Carter visited Liberia, praising Liberia's stability just 2 years before the 1980 coup that could end the Americo-Liberian rule and usher into a Samuel Doe regime, but they never knew, and in an era of perceived prosperity and deep-seated ethnic grievance upon in Liberia. In 1978, Tubert faces pressures to pardon individuals convicted of ritualistic killings in Maryland County, but refused, arguing powerful establishment figures showing deep societal division upon. In 1978, international relations, Liberia signed a trade agreement with the European Community, the Economic Community of European, they call it EEC, and hosted the U.S. President Jimmy Carter, who praised Liberia's stability at the time, but then there were underlying tensions. These incidents occur within a context of where indigenous Liberians felt marginalized by the Americo-Liberian elite, setting the stage for the 1980 coup. Today is the 22nd of December. Today, also the 22nd of December in 2020, Liberia history was shaped by the International Monetary Fund. The most talk about IMF, one of Liberia, a long-time partner, about 48.8 million to support its COVID-19 response, reform amidst the ongoing economic strains. While debates continue over the constitutional changes from recent referendum issues of corruption under President Weah government, and France signed a grant for scholarship, highlighting development efforts to alongside persistent challenges like the logging controversy and the governance issue upon. In 2020, the IMF disbursed funds, praised George Weah administration reform efforts, but acknowledged the epidemic impact, requiring the modest fiscal loosening in the humanitarian needs. Then earlier on the 8th of December 2020 that year, referendum proposed constitutional amendment like dual citizenship, and that brought a huge debate between the proponent, the Weah CDC, and opposition. Why the government focused on development, issues of corruption persisted, drawing criticism even from the former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who faced the backlash for her role in the George Weah uprising. Upon she was blamed for the process, there were allegations at the time. France then signed a grant for phase 2 of scholarship programs, showing commitment to Liberians' youth education. We know that, in essence, the late 2020 in Liberia was a mix of international financial backing for stability, ongoing political debates, and persistent socio-economic challenges, all under the cloud of the global COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Welcome to all of you on today. Today is the 22, just about, oh my God, somebody say less than 3 days. It ain't even 3 days, because people have started balling already. The Christmas have already brought itself, and folks have started celebrating, especially those who manage themselves from the beginning and say before Christmas time, let me be said, are already balling. They know what they will eat, they know what they will cook, they know what their children will wear, but on the other hand, others are also there. Today's in history is a regular feature on our programs. We bring you this analysis of history happening on a day-to-day basis for your own consumption. Today in 2018, a shutdown of the U.S. federal government began with President Donald Trump declined to sign an appropriation bill. The shutdown lasted for 34 days, to be matter, and in 2018 on today, the 22nd of December. Then in 2010, the U.S. President Barack Obama signed a legislation to repeal the Don't Ask, Don't Tell. The policy regarding the service of homosexuals in the military, it took effect in 2011 upon. Then in 1990, today, the Constitution of the Republic of Croatia was promulgated, gaining such civil rights as freedom of speech, religion, information, and association, as well as guaranteeing the equality of nationality in 1990 on the 22nd of December. On the 22nd of December, a rescue helicopter arrived at a crash site of the Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 and evacuated the first group of survivors. 2 months after, the plane was down in the Medes Mountain into Argentina. Of the 45 people on board the plane, only 16 survived. Today, the 22 of December in 1972. Before I leave you today, 1941, 22 of December, U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Prime Minister Winston Churchill met in Washington, D.C. to discuss the World War II. But then 2 weeks after, the Pearl Harbor attack occurred in 1941 on today, the 22 of December. Let me say Merry Christmas, all of you. I am your humble servant. I'm J. Nathaniel, the Varsinian. Just call me the ambassador. And I'm here today from the production department, T. Nicholas Barkley, making this 22 day of December a spectacular one. Remember, we invite your consent, your comments. Speak within the box. So please listen. We are discussing something very much important. We value your comments. They are the building block to our modern and emerging democracy. On today, Liberians heard about 2 months ago that Frank Musardin and other folks, there was a rate of arrest for them. There was a rate of arrest about 2 months ago, a rate of arrest came up on the legs of Friend Musadin, Jesla Murray, and 4 other persons. But the court have said, because we announced to you that the Justice and Chief at the time said they wanted to look at the matter, because they were the former SG of Liberia, who was the lead advocate of the entire family of this diamond business, were advocating. And they were saying that if they can't find a diamond, let the people who were involved with the diamond business bring the equivalent of the diamond to the family, because the old man will get a diamond. But then today, there's good news. I don't know good news or bad news, but there's a news out there. For us, we'll break the news to you. The Supreme Court has ruled on that matter. The Supreme Court have come down on the matter today. That 53.3 carat diamond, the lower court ruled on, the Supreme Court have brought out their own statement. You will make analysis, we will bring the full detail out there to you today. On top of that, the government of Liberia recently, through the multi-sectorial committee on drugs, substance abuse, they launched a comprehensive 5 years national framework. The combating of the growing weight of drugs and substance abuse in the country. And the Minister of Health, who is one of the lead proponents of that matter, the chair on the multi-sectorial committee, launching that day, said Liberians, it's time for a united response to drugs, the menace. But then there is something that came up before that issue, and it's good for us to talk about it. The Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, the ORC, the interim leadership, says something, and it's important for us to look at today. That Liberia, there's a rising alarm of the increase in the transit of drugs. The transit, because he's saying some of the drugs that Liberian children are taking here is not being made here, according to the whole research he took over, he and his team. Remember, a man from the police who was knowledgeable of the activities, a man from the NSA who was knowledgeable of the activities, and another man from the police who was in operation. So they are saying that through all their search and seizure, their travel in Liberia and following the poorer border points, they see that most of the drugs, almost all of the drugs the children taking here in Liberia, not the children that opposite they're taking no kind of drugs there too. Old people, old men, old women, they used to have old teen men they're taking it. But now the children are getting involved. But he's saying that most of those drugs is not being made, produced, or manufactured yet. Then this means that it's passing through our borders. How can we help that? Because the national player has come up with a multi-sectorial team, and he has identified the error there. And it's good that the Senate said a lot of good things about them, acknowledge their position, and all that is good, and Liberians want to see this. Even Liberians can attest to the fact that drugs, the usage, the way we're being abused, is not like that. Though there are still some having issues. Some are also accused the LDA that they've been selective, they're looking for who to catch, but the ORC has said we want to find this thing everywhere. Anywhere else we'll look for it. And you remember the last report that came from them after a thorough search through the country, where they identified Moswallow County, Painesville as a major hub, Sino County, Grand Cape Mount County as a hub of this process here. Now he has said that the poorness of our borders is leading to drugs that are manufactured in other countries coming to our area. Aren't these concerning issues, especially during the festive season? Liberia, let me say good afternoon. Join me and let's have these conversations here. But first, let's go to the issue that involved the arrest of Friend Musadin. If you're watching with me live, we say welcome. We are live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, we're live on www.knewsonline.com. Online, we are also live on 91.9. And remember, we will cross outside Liberia and we'll come back. We'll take your calls. Please listen. Good afternoon.
This is not a formal trial or formal exchange of pleading. What happened a few days ago was that we got a notice of assignment. The sheriff made a return today. They called Councillor Frank Musa Dean and said there's a notice of assignment for you. He picked up the phone. He said a wrong number. When the sheriff was insisting, trying to inform him of the urgency of the case, he said wrong number. He called out the phone. When they called him later on, he said, I'm out of the bailiwick of Mosurado County. Before the sheriff could tell him, say, show me who should sign for the notice of assignment, he called out the phone completely. In the case of the former Minister of Mines and Energy, he said, when they called him, he said, I mean Marshall. The sheriff then got in the car and went to Marshall. When he got to Marshall, he said, I'm in Monrovia. When the sheriff came back to Monrovia, when they called him, he said, I'm in Magibi. So you see that kind of jackrabbit style running all over the place. The law is chasing them. That means it's the law. The old man that owned the diamond, he's sick. He can't even walk. He needs money to seek medical attention. My only role into this case is not to go after an individual, but to make sure that justice is served and to make sure that the rights of the poor people are protected. Those basic fundamental rights, their property rights under our law.
So, Council, 2 of the several others who were under arrest, we saw them in the court. What are they going to be? What's going to be the next step?
Well, there was a question we passed to the judge that when you are looking for 8 persons and 3 come forward, you hold that 3 white.
We are talking about this before, but I want to give you a new development on this case here. But just to remind you as to what happened, that was back in September, around the 29 to be precise, with you. And now this is where we are with this particular issue here. Now, the Justice of the Chamber, that is Supreme Court, said they want to look in this matter here. They don't want to just leave this thing. This diamond business was a major thing. You listen to the former SG, that those folks and the likes of the former Minister of Justice, who was the Attorney General at the time, they were holding him personally liable for this whole process. Then the likes of the Minister of Mines and Energy, Jesla Murray, and others, they named Tom Kara. That's 4 different persons there after these 2 people, that they were all involved. Now, their diamond, it was perceived that they sold this diamond. That is the story still going on. They sold this diamond, and these people, Musa Dean was there as this person, so they needed, but then Musa Dean and others had an argument. The likes of the former Justice Minister, they said that the whole case, they put it on him. And because the whole thing started from 2023 involving this 53.34 carat rough diamond. That was in Smith time, the Bama Mining District 2 in Bapuru County. Now, they said that it wasn't just what all happened. Whose name was on the document? Because it was being seen that this whole transaction went on. Whose name was on whatsoever to be held liable? The diamond dispute and the government role. In 2023, January 3rd, there was a press release that came up from the Ministry of Mines and Energy detailing the disposition of the diamond. According to that release, they said the dealer exporter paid $80,146.78 to the government of Liberia, including a $30,116.42 in royalty tax, and again $50,000 fine imposed because the diamond was purchased from an Aspire Mining Clean. And they went through all of those things, and George Conto was the one who presided over the case. So the likes of Musa Dean, or the made an argument. They said that they wrote a Supreme Court, playing hot what Judge Conto and others are doing about this, because they came up with a ruling that these people should be arrested and all that with the Elliott and the name him nor the Minister of Justice appear anywhere in the judgment be enforced. So he asking was, who was the document? The Mani or the entity? Is this how you're going to hold me inside of this? Was Mani? He said, let me tell you one thing he said, at no point is my name mentioned, nor the Ministry of Justice referenced. But then how now they're saying he should be the one? The prior reference, the Joint Security Board of Inquiry established in April 2023, comprising of representatives of the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Mines and Energy, the Executive Protection Service, the EPS, the Armed Forces of Liberia, the National Security Council, the National Security Agency, and NSA. The board concluded that diamond was discovered on a claim whose lesson had expired nearly a year after that. But then they said, no, our lesson never expired. We put in for the new lesson, and because the government at the time delayed in the process, and between that period, diamond was found. So they thought that our lesson was expired, but we are already in the process for a new one. But then, this is where I'm going to come in. With all of these issues, the Supreme Court has come down with a verdict. Their opinion, because he asked them. But let me take you to where Judge Konto reinforced the order went beyond restitution. This is where they said. They directed the arrest and detention of several persons. The Minister of Mines and Energy, Jesla Murray, former Assistant Minister Emmanuel Titi Swen, the Diamond Dealer Association President Mustafa Tonkara, Ishaka Kone alias Bakut, and the prisoner was Kova Bisa, who was jailed at the Morris Central Prison. But then, that time, there was a ruling that came up. In 2024, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Sully Ward Kamara, recognizing them to be the lawful ownership of the diamond, mandating Judge Boyman Konto to enforce the judgment. Now, but then, today, the Supreme Court has come up with, the Supreme Court of Liberia has exonerated the Minister of Justice, the former Attorney General of Liberia, of personal liability in the long-running case, that the lower court improperly enforced the higher court mandate. Like I said to you, the higher court said something, the Supreme Court, that was back in 2024, but then they never implemented clearly what the high court said. So now the Supreme Court has said Frank Mustardine, former Minister of Justice and Attorney General, is exonerated. In the judgment that was delivered by the current Chief Justice, Yemi Kugbesi, he said that the senior, I'm talking about Yemi Kugbesi, Senior Chief Justice of Liberia, he said that the Supreme Court held its earlier mandate did not need or hold Councillor Dean personally liable for the restitution of the diamond and its monetary value, contrary to the action taken by the court. So the statement you heard just now, the former Solicitor General, the SG, speaking about, the Supreme Court is saying when they did that process, the lower court did not clearly understood at the time. So thereby going to hold those folks in. And you know, Liberia, the culture of this thing having to see every government officials, everybody in the government has been corrupt. We have said this, that it's good that people who have committed crimes, people individually should pay for their actions. Now people who you will see, because most of the time you hear people saying, oh, that the president, oh, that the president, oh, that the president. And there are people into positions who are direct representatives of the institution, whether it's the ministry, it is the agency, and they go there, these complaints or this liability comes on those people who are heading the institution. That's the reason. Let me reiterate. The court ruled in favor of Sully Ward Kamara, recognizing him as a lawful owner of the diamond and mandating Judge Boyman Konto to enforce its judgment. Now, under the Chief Justice, they are saying that this diamond issue involving restitution, Frank Mustardine, as former Chief Justice, have been exonerated. Now, the question that comes to mind here is, who then should be held liable for this? Who are those? And this is where it is, because Liberia want to know who are all those people. Because when the radio arrest came up, they said Frank Mustardine, Jester Murray, and there were other four persons there. And you're listening to the lead counsel of the victims or people calling for the just benefit in this process. They are saying our diamond was sold for less money. And you hear what happened? Money now given the government here. So who should be? Because exonerating Frank Mustardine, or even if possible the Justice Minister, I don't want to go further than that, but they just said Frank Mustardine, then who should be held liable for this process? This is the question. And like you listened to 2 months ago, they said the person who had the diamond, they were leaker, but they said well, leaker, but they said they were leaker. They produced all documents to prove their claims, and they were this. But at the time they were having this discussion, the diamond already gone. You hear me now that the diamond at time money was paid for the diamond, government get that no benefit, and all these things. Now we hear it now that the diamond we're talking about what they say 80,146.3, where the dealer or the exporter paid money for, and they gave the government 30,116, 50,000 on the side. All these things there that happen between there that happen up on because they say they find the people. We now hearing them saying the diamond walk. Did they say 11 million, 10 million? We hear a different figure. We are hearing different figures. And what has been said in the previous document doesn't tell that the diamond even in a million. Who now to be held responsible for this? But that's it. I hold you right there with that issue. But the Supreme Court has exonerated Frank Mustardine and said for them holding him personally liable or the personal liability in the diamond case, they said the lower court improperly enforced the high court mandate against him. So for that, they exonerated him for this whole thing. Are the others responsible? That's the question we will want to find out in the days coming up on to be there. Mind you, there are several cases, one of which I want to point to you that every time they come out of the Supreme Court, the Justice of Timber, the Justice in Timber, Associate Justice James Edward Colley, by authority, will say, hey, court, this, hold it. Remember the Finabono case? Finabono case with the LSCC, not the LSCC, the asset recovery. The asset recovery and property retrieval team, when they raised that matter, they said, hey, they're holding there. We want to have audience. And that meeting was on the 2nd of December, was scheduled to be on the 2nd. Up to now, we are not getting a report that meeting was held and what being the outcome. We also say we value their role, and sometimes, or more often, the issues with the public that involving citizens is good that Liberians get a clear understanding. We're still waiting. We're still making our research so that we can find the outcome of that very meeting, their conference, to see or hear how far it is there. This is where we are, Liberia. So, former Justice Minister Frank Mustardine, in this 53.3 plus carat diamond issue, he's been exonerated. He should not. Who are those? It's the question. The people who said they got a diamond, they are there, and they want the worth of that diamond. Let me say welcome. Thank you. Something very important. The authority, head of the multi-sectorial committee on drugs and substance abuse, they have launched a 5-year plan. Very important. A framework that will gear towards combating drugs. And in this kind of time, it's important to focus our attention on this matter because it will just be another issue we talked about. You hear folks being overdosed. You hear folks coming in contact with substance that they are not used to or they want to take. You hear that ghettos have a new boss of a drug that have come in, and the young people be flocking there to get a taste of it, and some of them would die. Even when they die, they still want to die. When they say this drug have killed 2 to 3 persons, they don't want to say I will test it, and that person will test it and they will die, and then the person who is there witnessing that death of their fellow will still go there and test it and see how dangerous these drugs are. So in the kind of time, it's good to have these conversations. And we welcome the plan from the government of Liberia. The chair of the team, the Health Minister of Health, Dr. Lawrence Porto, who chaired a multi-sectorial steering committee on drug and substance abuse, she said, this is a united national front. This is a menace. The drug issue is no longer an issue that we should joke with. That's what the report said. The official launch has been carried out. There have been a landmark policy and instruction deployed or developed in response to this growing threat. Because you know why we're even talking about harmful substances or the drugs issue? We also got harmful issues of drugs. There are certain drugs that you're not supposed to go near. And that one coming from the hospital side. And people are taking it. Just to name some of them, you hear the codeine, you hear the tramadol. You see, there are some other drugs that are very much controlled that nobody should just get in contact with it. But because of this looseness of drugs in Liberia, both of our children are going in that line and they go in there. Someone say me, you hear someone say me, I'm frying. I'm taking no papi or no low. I'm taking nothing, no John, nothing. But I can pop my pills. That means they are on the tramadol or other issues, or on the codeine. It's a syrup. And these are controlled drugs in that angle. Then you're having the marijuana. I've heard several persons saying, "Oh, the marijuana, when I get prime way, it's alright." The kush that they want to be, but are you aware that some of the drugs they can take it with marijuana? Yes. A lot of drugs they first take, they have to take it with marijuana. So you see how close they work. Some of them they chase it. You gotta learn what they call the chase the issue. You hear some of our folks, they can't talk very loud and clear. They're there. And you get, what man, who do you like this? What's going on with you? And some of them, they take the drug, they can't take bath. Some of them, the drugs, you gotta be 5, 6, or 7 just to take an ounce of it. And you wonder about that. And when a single person venture on that, you get the cocoa, you get the tar, the Italian white, the market, they get all sorts of name for it. The heroin, all the things, those are all issues. Now, having this plan is very important because these substance abuse pose a serious public health and social stability on the national development. You all go show they will have a peace party. One young man who went in the corner with a friend, they smoke something. All he want to cross the sea. He want to cross the ocean. All he want to swim to go where? He know where he go, he don't go. Or they all want to go about here and talk about the gang rape. All they play about the young people is that they want to join other bad folks, that they will have some of their friends beheaded or killed, or some of them who even go through this process who are not strong, the next is their body outside. Some of their friends carry them unknowingly or because they want to party. They are also carried away and they get involved in this matter here. Now, my point on raising the issue, I want to say thanks to the multi-sectorial team. I'm told that Dr. Lawrence Porto was there, the Attorney General of Liberia, Councillor N. Oswald Twelve, police, the NADAP, the NADAP, Dr. Moses Zian, Director of the Mental Health Unit of the Ministry of Health was there, and several other persons very large group of people in line ministries who are involved. I want to say thanks for driving this from 2025 to 2030, so that by 2030 we can see something good happening. Colonel Wilson, Debbie Bow, the coordinator of the Joint Security, who also co-chaired the technical working group, also there, and they all made statement up. I want to say thanks for this work. But then my point I want to tie in today is the DCP, Fitzgerald Biako, made certain stern revelations to Liberians, and it's good. That through all his research, most of the drugs we see in Liberia, they weren't produced yet. So, since these drugs weren't produced yet, who producing it? Where is it coming from? He noticed just that our borders are porous. We got a serious porous borders. Some of the border points that people crossing with, it's not known. When I say not known to national mapping, but security might be aware that they exist. And at a certain given time, officers are not deployed at those points, made it poorer, that so that community dwellers know that it's a route. Instead of going to a major crossing point, they use that side, they can go in, especially those towns and villages that border neighboring countries. They just go there. One of my colleagues said, my man, we on the side, almost like they put on the side of different world. When you go places like Maryland, you go places like G, certain part of Grand G, they probably get time when they go Ivory Coast. That's why they go do that thing. Even when you go there now, materials the people are consuming there, like in terms of alcoholic beverages, it's quite different from what we're doing here. Everything comes from that side. And they heavily depend on that side, then coming with the Maserati or Monrovia, yeah, where everybody comes to get issues. But the border point, he said, is poorer. And this is making it as an increasing transit point for illicit drug moving across West Africa sub-region. He said that some of the drugs we don't produce, why coming here? And some are being intercepted by securities. This is now indicating that substances are being transported through the country rather than manufactured locally. Most of the drugs you see here, they didn't make it yet. They brought it here. So this gave a rise for the increased security surveillance. And let me say thanks to the Joint Security Team. Since they started up on, they've been working so strong, but we call for more because this thing that has been said, it's good he said it, but it's frustrating, to be frank with you. It's frustrating. Because when you listen to several analysis of how many poorer borders we're having, imagine, Liberia parts are bordering Sierra Leone. Are we aware of the crossing point there? Liberia have border points that border with the Guinea. Are we aware? Liberia having border points with the Ivory Coast. Are we aware of all of the crossing points? Mind you, don't even forget, the Atlantic Ocean is right here with us. Don't forget. Somebody said nobody get time for the point, but those killers, those boats are coming. What are they bringing? Who manufactured these things that we're getting? You see? So it poses a very serious challenge with limited manpower, with limited resources and limited assets. That's why when the Senate spoke about the recognition of the work from the LD, National Police, and other state securities, it became a laudable thing because they should look at these things. Because we are not the only one having issues with drug. We are not the one. And our children, the day or the moment they hear new drug, I want to one take, and I hear most of our children dying. Yeah. When they eat a gray out, someone said they can look for that local puppy. And I want they can survive and be on the entire market. But then when new drugs come, they won't take it. And the moment that they take it, a different thing. They are resistance. So the crossing point, the current crossing point that are disclosed and are not disclosed, there should be increased surveillance on those areas. For instance, we are not the only people having issue with drugs. You do not say we don't have an issue with drugs? Yes. Say we don't have an aside. I watched on the BCI. Say we don't want the country that having serious issue with drugs. When you watch that documentary, you see Codeine Ghetto. I'm not saying where they go smoke the tar, the market, the heroin, or whatsoever, the injection, or no. I'm talking about just the syrup. Just the syrup called codeine. They get whole ghetto for it. Big people go there. You take one bottle, you drink it, you put the bottle there. And the very time that happened, when I think what they call is those investigations are already carried out on a very stringent surveillance, on a cover. The bottles you see that are there that already been taken. You see that? Even some of our areas around here, when you see the area that was there, what they call Zimbabwe, you go to Zimbabwe, see drugs, they're a kosher. Where they get the chairs, the table lining up, they're a kosher. Yeah. So we are not the only people facing the drug issue. Guinea also faces the drug issue. They have the cost. Sierra Leone also faces drugs issue. The last time you saw one of our former artists, not former artists, right? He's still an artist, right? And going on, he was arrested at the southern border of Liberia. Imagine they brought a vehicle in a vehicle. They never had anything inside the vehicle. But they clever they carried the vehicle to those technical repairs or mechanical work can be done out in the open. They took out the car cover and they placed drugs all inside there. So when you, the officer, enter the car, you leave out the car rug, bend the seat, tennis, so look in the car cover, you don't see nothing. But that box that cover that holding the car there, when you're moving that whole thing inside, that place put the drugs. The car door get a wing, where you get a winder. Some are electronic, some are manual. What I want that winder can be. Sometimes they get an area you can pull cup or glass or something, just for the comfort of the vehicle. When you move that whole thing inside, that you decide to see the iron, then when they place those drugs. So you see how far it go. So it requires more. So when you see these things happening just in the open glare, tell them about the border points where, if for example, having immigration officers there or the joint security, and the joint security work for now, they wait in the evening. Come and say, sending our sales and arrest. Then they move on there. 6 o'clock, 6:30. What happened? For the next morning. Or the men wait till 2 o'clock and then they walk in the bush, cross the water, cross the place, they get in Kino, cross, kind of bring it. Harley in your area. In the morning they carry it. You see that? So it's still a challenging thing. And I want to agree with him that this is one of the areas we need to look at. Because if we're not careful, we'll just be crying drugs. But the one our children taking, how from here? They bring it here. Who bringing it? We need to watch out for them. Let me say welcome and thanks to all of you on today. We will cross out to at least 3 countries to check out what's going on the 22nd day of December. When we come back, we'll go to the line 0775 919 919 0880 919 919 are the numbers to be a part. Right after our travel, when we come back, we will go there. We will go there for development on you and you make your comment. Please speak within the box. Please listen and speak what we are discussing today. Let me say good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, a pleasant welcome to all of you.
For the balance fight. So they are being held. They are being held. It is the court that will determine what happens to them. The only thing I'm interested in, or my client is interested in, is the diamond, or its fair market value of $11.5 million. Those who said they were men yesterday are now in hiding. There is no escape for them. I have no part to play. I am not the one who wrote the opinion. The judge wrote this. And he said 6 persons should be arrested and detained. And he named them as follows. Councillor Frank Musa Dean Jr. should be detained.
put in common jail at the Monrovia Central Prison until he can bring the diamond. Gessler Murray, Emmanuel Titi Swain, Ishaya Baku, Mustafa Tonkara, and there's a fellow called Cover Besa. It's Cover Besa who provided, according to the judge, the false certificate of origin and distorted the information to prove that the diamond
Liberia on the African scenes to check out what's going on. I want to say welcome. Remember the AFCON 2025 there in Morocco. The opening was so tight. But Morocco, the hosts, someone said narrowly. Someone said not too narrow, man, but the game. 2-0 over Comoros. Remember the Morocco is the host, and Liberians, Africans, West Africans, North Africans, South Africans, East Africans are all currently into Morocco, enjoying the jam, and a very new flavor coming out for the Africa this time around, showcasing their activities now with a very greater zeal and exuberance. All the African teams are now saying that they will march up to a very large number of activities there, and they will be victorious. But so sad that the likes of Liberia, oh my God, waiting next time. And Nigeria also, Ghana, several former champions are there, so it's also up there for you. The AFCON 2025 there in Morocco, up on with the first game with Morocco and Comoros there, 2-0. That game was not a small game, and missing the first penalty in the game, Rahimi, it was so much discouraging, with the one of the youngest king of Morocco there, but the opening was so much a magnificent one. The opening was great. I want to see Liberia host. I'm of the strongest conviction that I will host African Cup of Nations. We will bring different taste. We will bring different taste, but let's enjoy the other people yet. Right now, we'll cross outside Liberia to check on what's going on. And today, Sudan's calls for the RSF to be classified as a terrorist group at the Russian-Africa Friendship Summit. Sudan has called for the Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, to be classified as a terrorist group and held accountable for its action against Sudanese citizens. Khartoum pointed to their fingers at the United Arab Emirates, UAE, accusing the Gulf nation of preparing funding and weapons to the group. Sudan made the appeal to the Russian-Africa Partnership Forum on Saturday. Ministers from the more than 50 African countries met with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in Cairo at the forum's second ministerial conference. Representatives from several African and regional organizations were also in attendance, according to the statement by the Egyptian Foreign Minister. Sudan's Minister, Cabinet Affairs, took the opportunity to call for support in isolating the RSF, who have been fighting in the Sudanese armed forces for more than 2 years. More on that, you go there and check it out to get a full detail coming out there for you. To travel to Nigeria, where 130 kidnapped Nigerian students free after 1 month of captivity. After 1 month in captivity, 130 school children adopted in Niger State have been released. President Bola Tinubu office said on Sunday. A spokesperson said they were free from a military intelligence-driven operation and are expected to arrive in Niger State capital Minna on Monday. Today, the children were among more than 300 people kidnapped from the Catholic boarding school into Pepari village on the 21st of November. Some managed to escape almost immediately, and 100 others were free earlier this month. 35 students and teachers are still unaccounted for. Authorities said further detail will be communicated. One of the Nigerian worst mass kidnapping in recent years, the adoption put the spotlights on the worsening security situations in Naughty, Nigeria, where armed gangs frequently target schools for ransom. Tinubu has been under pressure at home and for the U.S. President Donald Trump, who have accused Nigeria of failing to protect Christians. More on that, you go there and check it out. We now cross over to where Russia general killed in a car bomb in southern Moscow. Upon the Russian general was killed on Monday morning when a car bomb exploded beneath his car. Local investigators says Ukraine may be behind the attack. Russia media reported that a car exploded in a parking lot in the southern Moscow at about 7 a.m. We have opened a criminal case in connection with the car bombing in Moscow that killed the head of Operational Training Directorate of the Russian Air Force, General Staff, Lieutenant General Fani Savarov. Svitlana Petrokov, spokesperson for the Russian Investigative Committee, said on this morning. Russian Defense Ministry said that Savarov had fought in the Chechnya and taken part in the Moscow military campaign into Syria. Ukraine claimed responsibility for the similar attack against a senior Russian soldier last December. In April, another senior Russian military official was killed in a car bomb outside the apartment in Moscow. The Kremlin has blamed Ukraine for other bombing attacks against or across Russia. More on that, you go there and check it out to get a full detail coming out there for you. Let's now go to the lines in Liberia on issues we have discussed. 0775-919-919, 0880-919-919. Good afternoon.
Belonging to Mustafa Tunkara, we have documents in our possession in which Mustafa Tunkara wrote an application.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Supreme Court said they want project on 1 man. Now, friends are doing they want put on 1 man. So the question I was asking, if they're not him, who are those? If they're not one person, who are those? Because now it won't be named. You're welcome. Let me talk to another caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bar.
This is Mr. Yima. So this is the Oracle. The Oracle is welcome. Good to have you.
Thank you, Chief. So my attention has been drawn to the issue of the drugs we talk about. I think we keep calling on government to make more tougher law when it comes to eradicating drugs in our country.
But the Oracle, there are tougher laws already about drugs. There are laws on the book.
But those laws are not being implemented. That's the problem. So sometimes, for the former part of the LDEs, there are legal cases to this thing. So also get to police staff. But we are the people involved in the thing are the same people in government. Most of the people doing the job, how do they get a job? Where they come from? Who can bring it? The league can come up with all of the people, be it ambulances, be it representative car, be it
someone to get involved, and the chair of the multi-sectorial team said this is a national united front issue that has to be considered. Let me say welcome to our team watching live. Moses Momolu there from the United States. He said from Aloha, Kadas Rapik, the USA. Thanks for the update. Prince Scully, good afternoon. I'm following. Bar Mohammed Bob says Suffolk community. Salome Peters said God will always bless you. Thank you, Salome. Fire Demaduro said from Dupont Road, Zubatown. Thank you. Let me just acknowledge our people on. Papi Keita, thank you. Jacob Blocon, it's a Kana Lane community. Maritactic We Are the community. Sam Kume, let me say thank you. FD8 community. Banas Farm, Sidiki Tawari, good afternoon. He said, thank you, Sidiki. Lima Cully, Salala District Bomb County, thank you. Sifas Discuss Me Dole, say good afternoon. James Doki, Bounce City, good afternoon, James. Domowa Cully, said I'm watching. Thank you, Domowa, and thanks to all of you. Let me talk to this caller on the line. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, National Live.
You're welcome.
This is still to the government.
Rozo, what's up? Go ahead.
I'm going to say thank you for the starting point this afternoon. Now, I said something this morning about this John. We have to take off the black garment. Then we have that the CIA move from community to community, from Polo land to Polo land. That will lead this delinquent business. And my recommendation to the government, all the things that are there, they have to take all the things something for them. And people want us to look at the Terry. Terry said that, then let's take it to the time. Because they're giving them the opportunity to move anywhere they see them moving. Then they get the security chance to do a check-up.
Okay.
When I'm talking to put a checkpoint, then they put it there. They'll do close to half of that, a check-up.
Okay, Rozo. And I think some of them are making a very salient point. Community dwellers need to get involved in this matter here, because the people who selling it there, like what the DCP said is ORC. Some of the drugs they're making it, but who bringing it? You see? Good afternoon.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Jeremy M2. I'm calling from my job.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what the drug issue. For my own belief, the government has to really cut down on the drug issue. Like say the security, the payment of the security is one of the main problems of drug industry like Europe. So matter whether it was 200 USD, what happened is that the payment that cost more than $100 Liberian, $100,000 Liberian. And that may have to together with or work with a drug dealer that giving him $100,000 United States dollars. You will allow that money to pass. That's what that is the issue. It will be hard. Even if that may have to get that money, this time when it's joint has nothing to do. It takes you to try to review that money.
Okay. So the payment. Salary, but it's good that our folks are now turning their attention to our security. Let them implement it. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. The historic vow opening of the season.
This is Webster Sarsville College. Webster, go ahead.
Thank you, Uncle Val. Historic vow, I will tell you once again, the community need to step in. It's difficult to catch those men from bullet points because of other hands, other bigger hands that into this thing. So once they land now, and you know the what, the ground is setting on of the community dwellers, the work is easier to be caught. But we are not doing it as community dwellers. We are hiding the back of our friends, our family members. Then how can we start? So I'm appealing to the government. When it comes to the DA issue, we need an intelligent officers to all those communities. Right in the area of different community, you build an intelligent officer right into that community. People you know that against drugs.
But you show that Liberians will uphold, because Liberian mayor, by the time the mayor NSA will know NSA now will know them. LeBron, man, we just go say somebody nearby, right? Give me something. After in our court, a 2-3 shot, and say, man, I'm coming to deal with you. Then you know, I've been appointed, I've been the president. So, let Liberian voluntarily come out, because there's the strength of it, that they know who's selling anything, they know, and the LTA said they will not expose you. Okay, let me talk to you. Good afternoon. You said very good. You're welcome. No, I told you, I said, I want to get that thing. I begin, we ain't talking party been here, please. Janita. I name your mind, I give you. Good afternoon. Yeah.
So, the issue of this trust is alarming, and there are many ways that we all can help in setting this trust from this country. The issue with the DA, I think the DA themselves need to be spoken now, because you cannot take somebody who is a drug user to put them in the DEA. And we have seen it in most of our community in the Western State.
Of recent, have you seen any LDA officer who is also a user? Why can't you? My man, wait, let's take this much more. If you know LDA officers who are users, why can't you alert the authority about this? Because as I know, LDA officers are taking drug tests. So that the volunteer, you say you're a federal, that the volunteer to tell Fitzgerald Biago, to tell Mr. Tappet, to tell Mr. Komazu that some of your officers are taking drugs in the force. Please show them. Please show them. You know any of them, why can't you expose them? Let me talk to others, my man. You know some people, expose them. We want to expose the people, then you want me. Then you say you supporting this thing. You hiding people who doing something wrong. Then you want to say they're doing it. Good afternoon. Yeah, go ahead, sir. This is Mr. Yima. You go ahead, sir. You're welcome, Mr. Yima. Good afternoon. This is Mr. Togo Martis. But the LDA boss, thank you, Mr. Martin. The LDA boss has said that most of the drugs is not being manufactured or produced here. Then who bringing it? That you're the citizen asking now. Who bringing these drugs? Good afternoon. No, Johnny, let other contribute. Good afternoon. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is Jim Moses Wakoli, and I'm looking at full video for Ralphie Harvey resident.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tina, regarding the topic of the discussion, the issue of the Brahmo, you see the country that will not get better justice because people who are in higher places, they have better for
So you want to say you don't trust the Supreme Court ruling?
I don't trust them. I don't trust them. And the issue of the drugs, I just found a show where you maybe almost 3 countries that they go are affecting them as well. They are affecting us at the next level. But then now, my brother, they took the drugs to put it on one square individual. They said they don't want to bring it in. So I'm going to stop it.
No. Who bringing it now? They may not hear. Who bringing it now? I want to know. Good afternoon. Samuel Kekula, go ahead.
Thank you for the recognition. Let me say good afternoon to the Excellency President Buakai and the President Umarida. So, yes, let me agree with you in many colors. I think those paid for protection or watering of corruption in our country, there are high-profile cases when it comes to investigation on the docket. I think it will be speed up, including the Diamond case, a case that been in the corner for so long. So we encourage our people who call authority to speed up some of the cases. Look, the more it stays, the more the strength and the ability to die for justice in our country. We gotta be careful. Thank you so much. I'm going to be fighting another video.
Thank you. I told you I want to get that one. Everything you told me. Okay, let me take my last call here. Oh, no. I will not continue with you. I will take one more call, my final caller, and the privileged in this platform. They want to say welcome to all of you. Let me say welcome. Let me say to my old man there, Dr. Nemo. Welcome to the Liberia. Yeah. You my final caller.
Yeah, this is Ezekiel Noah from Seattle.
Ezekiel.
Yeah, this is not the thing about how we fight in the people that are giving you that way, they can't fight it. How will we fight it? Because if you get drug happening that way.
So we forget about it? Because you see the last time, the latest LTA report, if you bring your car using drug on the arrest your car, they will take the car from you all. When you have in your horse, you give it a drug dealer, they didn't join that horse and they get intel with evidence. They find that horse, they hold down for you again. So all the things that mess with the report taking. Okay, thank you. Let me say thanks to all of you today. And I want to say Merry Christmas for my team from this institution, Cool 91.9, our parent body, CityCom Liberia Limited. We want to say to all of you, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. And please, Liberians, it is an enjoyment. Not nobody look for the money for you. You yourself look for your money, and you deserve to enjoy your money during this festive season. But let us be responsible and enjoy our money. Let us know that others have rights. Let us know that the player has no right. Stop another person won't be given. Let us acknowledge that we are not in the country alone, but we have others with us. They are foreigners here, they are visitors here, and they are fellow Liberians. So please respect all of this. I want to say thanks so much for joining us today. I'm J. Nathaniel B. Varsinian, just company ambassador, and I'm here with T. Nicholas Barkley. Until tomorrow on the 23rd, good afternoon.
Requested to export the diamond, justice is served, and to make sure that the rights of the poor people are protected, those basic fundamental rights, their property rights on our law.
So, Council, 2 of the several others who were under arrest, we saw them in the court. What are they going to be? What's going to be the next step?
Well, there was a question we passed to the judge that when you are looking for 8 persons and 3 come forward, you hold that 3 while you're waiting for the balance 5. So they are being held. They are being held. It is the court that will determine what happens to them. The only thing